Welcome back to our continuation of the walkthrough for the CTF EVM version 1. Now in this second video we're going to be going through the exploitation and the privilege escalation for this target. And so without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So let's go ahead and minimize our terminal, and we're going to go over here to our terminal and launch a clean one. And at my new terminal, I'm going to type in MSF console. I hit enter, and now we're just going to let it roll on up. And once it gives us that Metasploit prompt, we'll begin to look for the exploit that's going to give us that terminal over onto our target machine. So at my Metasploit prompt, we type in the use command followed by the exploit that we want to use. Now you can do a search inside of Metasploit just by typing in search, and then you can tell it what you're looking for. For instance, if we were looking for this exploit, I could type in search space WordPress, and then it would bring me up all of the different exploits that are available for WordPress. And from that selection, I would then find this exploit. I would then copy and paste it along with the use command at the prompt, and then I would hit enter. You'll notice that my prompt changes to let me know that we are now using that exploit. So to see what options have to be configured, we can type in show options. And we see that we do have to set the remote host, and we do have to set, or we can set, the localhost IP address. I recommend that you do set that localhost IP address for this to work properly. So we're going to go ahead and type in our host. So we're going to type in set our host, and now we're going to type in the IP address of our remote target, which is 192.168.56.103. Now make sure everything is correct before you hit enter. And it comes back to the prompt letting me know that that command completed successfully. Now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to do it for our local Kali machine. So I'm going to type in set lhost, the IP address of my Kali machine, which is 192.168.56.127. Hit enter. That comes back to that prompt letting me know that that completed successfully. Now we have to set the target URI for the directory that we're going to find this ability to create the reverse shell with. So I'm going to type in set target URI, and now I'm going to type in a space /WordPress. Hit enter. Comes back to the prompt letting me know that that completed successfully. Now we have to set the username. So I've typed in set space username, and now I'm just going to copy and paste that information in because I want it correct. I'm going to hit enter. Now we have to type in the password. So again, I'm going to use the set command space password along with the password that we discovered for this user called corrupted brain. I'm going to hit enter, and now we're going to launch this exploit by typing in the word exploit and then hitting enter. So for me, the command failed. Now if I go back and I troubleshoot myself, I see that the localhost IP address is actually wrong. It should be 123. So I'm going to go ahead and reset that. And I'll hit enter. Now again, I'm going to run exploit. And this time it completed successfully, and we now have a reverse shell between the target machine and our Kali machine using a meta-predator session. So the first thing we want to do is look inside the home directory for that target machine. So I'm going to type in cd, change directory, give it a /home, like so. I'll hit enter. Comes back and it lets me know that that command completed successfully. Now I'm going to type in ls, which is list everything that's inside of that home directory. And you'll see that we have just one directory, and it's called root3r. Again, I have to change locations over to that root3r directory. So I'm going to type in cd space root3r. Hit enter. And again, it comes back to the prompt letting me know that that command completed successfully. Again, I type in ls, and I see that I have a number of directories and files available to me up inside of that directory. Now I need to look inside of that root_password_ssh.txt file. Now to do this, I'm going to have it printed out to the terminal using the command cat. So I've typed in cat space the name of the text file that I want printed out to the terminal. I'll go ahead and hit enter. And inside we have a password, Willie26. That is the root password for our target machine. So the next thing I need to do is get some privilege escalation, which means that I want to be root. Currently I'm not root. And if I type in get UID or set UID, that doesn't work. So I'll type in get UID, and it tells me that I'm currently logged on as a default user using the name of www-data. Now you're going to see that a lot. But when you see that, that means that you have very limited access to the server. You want to be root. So that's what we're going to do next. So I need to now run a little snippet of Python code, but I can't do it at this terminal. To run a snippet of code, I got to have a shell. Now to get a shell up inside a metaprinter, I just type in the word shell. Now it comes back and there's no prompt, but it is working. So when you see it, all you're going to have is the cursor, but again, no prompt. So now I'm going to copy and paste the following snippet of Python code into that prompt. Now make sure you get all of this, because at the very end of this snippet of code, there is a little dash at the top that has to be part of it. And I'm talking about this right here. All right, so make sure that you get all of it. Now I'm going to go ahead, and what's going to happen here when I run this is I'm going to spawn a bash shell. Let's see how that happens. And you'll notice now that I have a bash shell, and I'm currently logged in as www-data, but now I have an elevated prompt. Now because I have this elevated prompt, I can change over to sudo or superuser or root just by typing in su, and now it wants that password that we discovered up inside of that text file, which was Willie26. I'll hit enter, and now you'll see that my prompt changes to let me know that I'm now logged on as root. I now need to look inside of the root directory, so I'm going to type in cd /root. Hit enter, and it comes back to the prompt letting me know that I'm now inside of that directory. Again, I'm going to type in ls so I can see what's inside of here. And you'll see that I have something called proof.txt. Now I need to look at that proof.txt because that is going to confirm that we have completed this boot to the root challenge. So I'm again going to print out the contents of that text file using the cat command. So at the prompt I've typed in cat space proof.txt. And it comes back and it lets us know that we have successfully completed this boot to root challenge. So this was an easy boot to root challenge, but it introduced you to some of the excellent exploits that can be used not in just this capture the flag exercise, but in the real world of pen testing. So you want to become familiar with these little snippets of Python, Perl, and Bash code, because you're going to see them not only out in the real world, but also on your exams for certifications. And so that's going to conclude this short video presentation on how we go about completing the boot to root challenge and the walkthrough for the EVM version 1 capture the flag exercise. You got questions, you got concerns, don't hesitate to reach out, contact your instructor, and I'll see you in my next video.